starting seated in Sukhasana if it's comfortable for you, any way that you feel comfortable. Use whatever you need to sit on, cushion, blocks, bolster, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. We'll be moving in this position as well, but we're thinking this morning, our theme is still the What is Yoga theme, and the title of this class is Self-Centered, which has bad connotations, but actually being on the mat here is being self-centered, but maybe self-centric is a better way to put it. And yoga's all about centering on yourself, because although we come to the mat all together, wherever we practice yoga with other people, you're coming really just for your practice. What happens on your mat only happens to you. So that's kind of where we're going with this. Yoga's about working on yourself. So just close your eyes when you've settled, and listen to your breath. And watch where your hands have gone. Watch which way they're facing. Maybe they're facing down, maybe they're facing up. Sometimes that's a sign of whether you want energy from around you because you're opening your palms. Sometimes it's just that you want to come inwards a little bit more by closing down, by putting your palms down the way. Or you may feel calm enough as it is. Okay, so then, having listened to your breath, begin to join it, begin to work with it, and breathe a little slower, a little deeper through your nostrils, in and out, if it's available for you this morning. And as you do this, what it made me recall was what they say on an aeroplane, when we all go on an aeroplane. It's always put your own oxygen mask on first. So the thing about self-care is to think about looking after yourself so that you've got the energy, the strength, the knowledge, a little bit of wisdom coming into it. In knowing yourself, you can recognize things in others. So working with yourself first isn't necessarily a bad thing. Self-centeredness isn't a bad thing. So then, now that you've controlled your breath, bring in a mudra up. So bring in your Vishnu mudra, your ring finger and your thumb up to your nostrils, fingers folded in or on your forehead, wherever you want them. You might have let go of your breath control. If you haven't, that's fine. So what we're going to do is in through our right to start. So close off our left nostril with our ring finger. Breathe in through your right nostril. Close that off with your thumb and exhale through your left nostril. And then inhale through your left nostril. Close that off with your ring finger and out through your right nostril. So it's in through the right, out through the left, in through the left, out through the right. That's the cycle. So you're probably not working exactly with my timings, so begin to work with your own timings here. Start to balance your breath. Notice whether your nostrils are both open. If they're not, you can use your mouth, remember. You don't need to breathe through your nostrils if it's not available, obviously. Just starting to work with the breath to even it out, so that the inhale and the exhale work together. Deepening them, taking them down a little bit further to the diaphragm. We spoke of that a lot last week, was it? Thinking of opening up around the whole of your diaphragm and then closing down gently as it draws back to center. So working and balancing with our breath. Balancing ourself. We begin to balance ourselves by breathing. Hence why you put your oxygen mask on first. Once you've got yourself under control, you can help others. So then let go of the mudra. Put your hands back down on your knees. Keep your eyes closed. Go back to your breath again and inhale through both nostrils and then out through your right nostril. So you're doing this psychically, you're not using your fingers now, you're just breathing, focusing on that part of your body, in through both nostrils, out through your left. So that's the pattern we're going for now. In both, out right, in both, out left. Keep that long, slow breathing going. Keep that depth going. And find the balance through your breath. So, thinking of our 8-limbed path of yoga here, as you breathe, just continue to breathe for a few more breaths. Our 8-limbed path of yoga, the first one is the Yamas, the first limb of yoga that Pattanjali wrote about. And the Yamas are the actions that we take which might affect others. So it's about not harming people, being truthful, not stealing, using our energy properly towards material things and other people's energy, etc. So it's about how we affect others, the Yamas. The Niyamas are the second limb. So interestingly, he didn't put the oxygen mask first. But niyamas are the second limb, and that's more about looking after and understanding yourself, which includes our self-study, Svadhyaya, and includes self-care, I like to put it as, which is saucha, about cleansing ourselves. So those are two of the things that come out in the niyamas, and that's what we're doing here on the mat. Take a couple more breaths and then rest the breath, let it go, it will keep working for you. And then you can keep your eyes closed if you want, or you can open them now. We're just going to start to move a little bit. So starting to move just through our hands that we've been using a little bit there. Start to wiggle your fingers, maybe crunching and opening your hands. Oh, a little bit of cracking there, a little bit of circling of the wrists, open the wrists. Maybe moving up to the elbows, starting to move everything like you're conducting here. Just starting to waken up joints. Notice any stiff bits as we go through these next sections. Have a little shake through your hands there and pop them back down onto your knees. And notice the energy now going through that area of you that you've moved. And then moving up to your head. So first of all, taking the head gently over to the left, to the right, sorry. It doesn't matter which way you're going. And just holding there gently. Don't go too far, don't let the head be too heavy, but just feeling a bit of opening up the side of your left side, in my case, of my neck and my vertebrae and muscles in that side of my neck and up into my jaw and behind my ear. And then gently drawing the head back up to centre. Just sit for a second, let things settle and balance again, and then softly take the head over to the other side. Thinking of extending through the spine as you go over and contracting to take the head over to that side, rather than bending the body or the shoulders. It's the spine we're moving here, the cervical spine. Just holding there for a couple of breaths and noticing whether, in my case, I can feel this side of my neck is nothing like as tense as the other side was. The open side here is nothing like as tight. So that's just telling me something about myself, and maybe how I'm moving or holding myself. Then bring the head back up to centre. And then gently take your head over to the right and then roll your nose forward. Be very careful in the back of your neck here, but gently taking a semicircle down, looking down to the floor, and then round and over to the left side with your ear facing your left shoulder then. And then gently back to the other side. Just rolling and opening the back of the neck now, the muscles there. So keeping that little bit of containment in the back of the chin here, under your tongue, that hyoid bone that we talk about, the little posture bone there. Take a couple more head rolls. Just really, really slowly, really gently, not moving too far. It's not about pushing yourself, it's about gently opening doors here. And then when you're ready, bring the head back up to neutral. If anybody's feeling any dizziness or anything, open your eyes and just sit still and breathe for a couple of minutes, or a couple of breaths rather. And then everyone take the shoulders up towards the ears, back towards the wings, going backwards on the back of your body, down the side of your body, and then forward again. So making a square shape with your shoulders. Not circles, squares this morning. Go down the back of the body, forward, up, back, and down, and then take it the other way. So you're coming up the back of the body, it feels like, forward, sliding them down the sides and back to center. Take 2 more of those, just squaring the shoulders rather than rolling them. And then once you've done the last one, just take some gentle circles with the shoulders. And notice any creaking, any crunching, anything that's happening in there. All these muscles it's a chain reaction. It's all joined up, remember, your neck, your shoulders, right down the side of your body there. Okay, then opening your eyes if you haven't got them open now. I'm going to take some little eye circles, so looking up towards your hairline. Gently looking over towards your right so that your left eye is looking at the side of your nose, maybe if you've got a big nose like mine. Looking down towards the end of your nose or down towards the floor, but not moving your head, just your eyes. And then over to the left. And then back up to the top. And then over to the left side again. And down to the bottom. And over to the right. And back up to the top. Squeeze your eyes in tight in your face, squeeze your whole face up. And then release all the muscles in your face. Take a couple of those, screwing up your face as tight as you can. See if you can feel it go right into your ears, and then releasing. Take 1 or 2 more. Smoothing out the wrinkles on the brow. And then release. Keeping the eyes open or closing them now, depending what you want to do. You can remember you can recross the legs at any point or change positions. We're going to start to move our shoulders now here on the breath. So when you're ready, inhaling, taking the arms up. And exhaling, turning the palms and taking the arms down. Take 1 more of those. Thinking of reaching up through the top of your head from your tailbone as you do this. Thinking of lengthening through the spine. Thinking of keeping the shoulders on the back of the body rather than rounding. Then we're going to take the left arm up. We're going to gently soften over towards the right side, contracting armpit to hip there. Back up to the top as you breathe in and exhaling that arm down. Inhale the right arm up. Try to keep the shoulder down there, not lifting the shoulder to the ear. Exhaling over. Using your other hand to support you and lift you up and down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Pop the hands on your knees or your thighs. Inhale, lengthen right through from tailbone to crown. As you exhale, round your shoulders forward, just opening up the upper back here as you look down towards your legs into a cat back, but a high cat back. So the upper part of your back. And then lengthening up, coming through that extension and then drawing the heart forward and closing that little space between your shoulder blades at the back of your body. And then come back to neutral. Taking that one again on the breath. Inhaling, arms up above the head. Exhaling down. Close your eyes if you haven't got them closed. See if it makes the experience different. Or if you had them closed, open them maybe. Exhaling over to your right. Inhaling back up. Taking it over to the left this time on the breath. Working with the breath can sometimes be difficult. So sometimes closing our eyes, we come back to the breath much easier because there's nothing distracting us. Then we're taking the hands to the knees, we're extending on the in-breath and we're exhaling and rolling forward, tucking the tummy, tucking the chin, maybe going a little bit further this time. Inhaling, we're rolling up through the spine, we're finding that extension through the crown and then moving the heart forward. Watch you don't stick your bellies out here, though, as I sometimes have a tendency to do. And then back to neutral. So let's hold this time. Inhale, take the arms up above the head and hold the arms up there for 2 breaths. Inhaling, lifting up through the crown. Exhaling, softening down through to the sit bones. Take 1 more of those, breathing in, lifting up, watch your shoulders, try and keep them down the back of the body. Exhaling, softening. Arms come down, we're taking the left arm up again, and we're holding as we fold over to the right. So make sure you lift up and draw your armpit to hip there. Holding here, taking a couple of breaths, thinking of that top elbow. Can you draw it back a little bit more so the light comes onto your face a bit more then? Use your other hand to support you wherever you are, on your thigh or on the floor. Breathing and reaching a little bit further and opening up that side body as you inhale, softening back in. And then using that inhale to lift you back up to the top and take the arm back down to the side. We're taking the other side now, lift it up, exhale over, thinking of that top arm again, opening up that shoulder a little bit more by rolling it onto the back of the body, working with the breath here to open and soften, using the inhale when you're ready to lift back up to the top, to neutral. Lowering the arm down, hands on the knees, we're inhaling, we're tucking the tummy, we're tucking the chin, and we're rolling forward on the exhale to wherever you find comfortable. Don't push it too far, but maybe you can go a little bit further, and we're going to hold there. So make sure you've got some support, from your hands on your thighs, or maybe on the floor even, but I take the thighs at the moment. We're going to do it a bit further in a minute. Just breathing here through the back of the body. Find that space in the back of the diaphragm. Find the space in the back of your lungs. Open up through the wings on the back of your body. And then find the inhale again and lifting back up, finding neutral, taking a space there, a pause. Before we're then going to breathe in and using the hands maybe to just gently lever a little bit to open up and come into your cow back here. Opening up the heart. See if you can draw the shoulders back a little bit towards each other in the back of your body. Open up that space at the front of you a little bit more. Maybe you can draw the chin in, but then just slightly open up your face towards the light above you. Don't crunch the back of your neck. Make sure you've got a nice long spine there. And then rolling back down to neutral. Okay, so then getting rid of anything you're sitting on, like the way. Keep props near you, so you might need them in a minute. We're coming into deer position. So deer position is when one leg's going backwards, one leg's in front of you. Now, if that's not comfortable the way I'm sitting, if you look at me where we've got these more right angle shapes here, if that's not comfortable, draw your legs to where they are comfortable. So you might have a leg out. Don't worry too much, but try and get this front leg folded in a little bit. If you can bring it to the parallel to the mat in front of you, then that's fine. But if you can't, don't worry. What you want to try then and feel is that you can get both sit bones back down a little bit. So if that's not working for you, adjust. It's all about adjusting, about learning how your body works here. That's the self we're looking at, the physical body at the moment. Okay, so finding a twist in this. So we're going to lift up through from the sit bones up through to the crown. Inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to turn your spine gently, rotate it towards the folded leg in front of you. So you're going to that side. And you can use your hand here just to go behind you and prop you up a little bit, find a bit of length. You can use the other hand to have a little bit of a leverage if you want to find a little bit more twist. But don't compete against yourself. Just find some comfort where you get to. So you may be looking dead ahead. Now, gently, I've got a baby bunny just come to look at me through the window. Gently rotate your head, if you can, on the top of your neck, nice and long, to look towards the back shoulder. If that's too strong for you, bring it back to the front. Wherever you are, think of then tipping slightly and looking down towards the floor. So if your head's at the front, that's fine. Just look down and extend the back of your neck a little bit. If you're in the twist through your cervical spine, still looking down, but towards your back hand probably a little bit more. And feel that openness in the back of the neck again that we just looked at earlier. Find your breath, close your eyes, draw inwards, feel the sensations, move your attention around your body to points of view that are shouting at you perhaps, hopefully not shouting, but giving a little bit of a nudge to you. Notice them, watch what's happening. And then gently lift that head back up, big heavy weight, 7 kilos, remember, draw yourself back round and adjust back into neutral, and then move your legs to the other side. So again, find the sit bones as much as you can, first of all. So once you're in the right position, I'm just adjusting myself until I feel right. Okay, so here, inhale tall, and rotate the spine through the extended spine. Rotate towards the other side, so towards my left in this case. Back hand is your stabilizer. Other hand can be a little bit of a weight or a little bit gentle lever if you want to come round a little bit further. Head can stay straight ahead, or it can turn gently towards the back shoulder. And then gently tipping the chin and looking down wherever your head is. And just then finding your breath. So we're going to take 3 more breaths here. So counting the breaths sometimes helps you really focus on only breathing. There may be, like me, a little pull in my back hip that's taking my attention there. Try and draw away from it and really just focus on your breath. As long as it's not pain, of course, it's just a little bit of give happening. Or not giving, as the case might be. And then lift the head once you've had your 3rd or 4th breath there. Gently rotating back round, coming back to the front. Grab a brick in case you need it here. You might want to use it behind you to prop up a little bit. Bring your left foot out in front of you and bring your right foot in flat to the floor. And then cross it over to the other side of your left leg. So drawing it in a little bit closer will help you to sit up a bit. If it's a little bit further away, don't worry. If you can't find that flexibility at the moment, your hips to come in. What you want is to have a nice straight leg and a nice flexed foot so that that leg's also switched on to hold you there. You want both sit bones sitting and your other foot is flat on the floor facing forwards. So even if it's here, that's fine, but try and keep the foot facing forwards. Okay, and the prop behind you will be that when we do the twist, you can put your hand on it if you need to. If you can't quite reach the floor, it's handy to have something to help you lift up. So use that now just to lift through your spine and see if you can draw your knee just a little bit closer towards your tummy. Lifting up through the spine, through the heart, from the sit bones. And then we're going to inhale and take the opposite arm from the folded leg up. And rotate again on that spinal column with a nice extension and drop the arm gently over to the other thigh. So one way you can do is this way. If that feels too strong for you, you can use your hand wrapped around your thigh to use again as a little bit of a lever in this twist. But if you're comfortable with it, we can lift it up, fold it down, and then you can just fold the arm in, as you often see if you want to look like they do in the pictures in the yoga books. Bring the hand up, palm facing back behind you, open. Use the other hand, remember, to lift you up a little bit higher. And then if you can rotate the head again to look towards the back shoulder. Please do not push though, this is not a competition. You don't need to look like the picture in the book. You just need to feel that you're getting the most from the pose that you can get. Excuse me. Certainly moving things in me. If you're sitting with your hand wrapped, you may be getting more from the pose just because your body is then allowing itself to be a bit more flexible because there's not so much tension in it. So move your hand, have a try, see which feels like you're actually gaining more and where you can feel you need to gain more through your body. And then inhale tall through the spine as you rotate back to the front. Release the leg, have a little stretch, have a little rock through that folded leg and come to the other side. So if you need that block behind you, you'll need to move it again. Lifting up the other leg, drawing the foot in and then crossing it over to the other side. Switching on the long straight leg, having both sit bones grounded so you don't want to feel you've rocked. If you have, put your leg out a little bit further and see if you can soften back onto that sit bone. You know where the arms go now, how the pose goes. Which one you want to do is up to you. So rotating on an extended spine, either using your hand round your thigh or coming into the other position with your hand across your thigh. You can draw the elbow up. You can look backwards if you'd like to. Remember to use that back hand to lift and find length through from the sit bone to crown. And find your breath. And maybe look down a little bit if you turned your head, if you find your body is flexible enough this morning to find that part of the pose. And breathe. So what we're doing at the moment on the mat is self-centered. It's a physical thing that we're looking at. We're becoming body aware. We're getting to know our physical self. That top layer of the koshas, do you remember we said about like the Russian doll? We've got 5 layers according to the teachings. And this is the physical layer, the first layer, the food layer on our outside that we're thinking of here. Everything to do with muscles and bones and movement through the body. Okay, so then returning back to center, bringing the leg out, having a little shake through, and then coming back into Sukhasana. You can put a prop under you if you want to, but otherwise just come into Sukhasana. And we're just going to fold over again and walk left and right, just so you know what we're going to do here. So finding that extension through the spine, and then moving forward from your hip hinges with a long front body. So moving the heart as if you were trying to reach a foot ahead of your legs now. So you're drawing your heart forward. We're not rounding forward straight away. We're lengthening through the spine. And that you should feel goes quite heavily through your hips, the muscles around your hip area. You should feel some sort of opening. You may not if you're very flexible there. So just be aware of whether you do or don't. You may know you're hyper mobile or something and you're not really getting so much out of this. You may even fold completely forward here. If you are able to do that, then please take whatever's comfortable for you. But keep that long body at this moment. Take your hands in front of you, wherever you are. And then find your breath again. And breathe in through your crown. And exhale. So moving through from the physical kosha, the physical outside layer of us, into the next layer, which is the Pranamaya Kosha, which is our energetic body, our breath, our life force, the energies that flow around us. Use the breath to consider the energy moving through you now, where it's moving, where it feels a little bit stuck maybe. And then walk yourself over to the right side using your hands on the floor, keeping that length in the body, not rounding. So you're now leaning over, in my case, my right thigh. Try and keep the left hip down. Try and use that to open up a little bit more through that side of your hip area, up through your back. And then go back to the breath and the Pranamaya Kosha and think of your breathing. Where can you breathe into now? Where can you take the energy to that you're drawing in? Parts of you will feel a little bit closed down possibly. And then walking the hands through the center and over to the other side, keeping that long extension. The movement will then feel in the physical body, it will have gone to a different part of your body that you'll be feeling the, not pressure, but the stretch here. Focus on there and breathe into that part of the body. So breathing down towards your hip, or maybe it's your back muscles. Maybe you can feel it up the side of your back, up through your QLs, the lat muscles, etc. The big muscles up the side of your body. Maybe you need to breathe into there to open a little bit more. Use the Pranamaya Kosha to work with the physical body. So the two layers working together. And then walking back to center. And then slowly drawing yourself back up. And then opening out your legs. So we've got wide legs now, and we're switching them on a little bit by flexing the legs there. But we're going to allow our back to round this time. So gently tucking the tummy, tucking the heart, tucking the chin, and rolling into a bit of a cat back here as you roll down towards the floor. So opening up a different part of your leg and hip area this way. So you're now in a cat back rather than stretching forward. You're rolling down and looking back towards yourself. Should probably feel this in your inside thighs. If it's too strong, you can soften your legs by bending your knees, or you can bring them in a little bit closer. So thinking here of trying to open up those tight back muscles that work into our glutes. Often that's where we hold a lot of our tension and strain, and maybe one side more than the other. So just to find that out, we're still rolled down, but just gently walk over, roll down in that cat shape and look towards your right knee. So you're looking downwards over your right leg. And take your attention to those big strong muscles down the side of the back of your body on your left side, and see what's happening there. Do they feel open, or do they feel like they're holding you back a little bit? Or do you need to draw your tummy in to support them a little bit more? Or draw up slightly to support them a little bit more? Walking back through center, come to the other side very slowly, have a stretch in the middle if you need to, and then leaning and looking over your left side, your left leg now, sorry. So what you're feeling, what the differences are here, won't be the same as anybody else is experiencing on the mat, in the same class. It's very much about what you feel, about self and self-awareness. You can't tell what the next person next to you is even thinking, feeling. So looking at ourselves here, notice if this side is slightly different. Again, I know my left side's where my tension's held, so becoming aware of that maybe makes you be a little bit kinder with yourself as you move physically. Coming back to center, and then slowly using your hands to draw yourself back up. So same with the wide legs or with bent knees here. You might need a prop here. A cushion might be helpful, a bolster or anything that you've got. This is what we're going towards, is we're sitting nice and tall. If you just watch first of all, we're rotating slightly, so we're looking towards, I'm looking towards my left leg, but I'm going towards my right leg now in a side bend. So I'm slowly contracting here to bring myself down in a side bend towards my right leg. Now I'm putting my hand towards my foot. My elbow is just inside my knee, my calf there, so that I've got a little bit of a force there to lever me with. And then I'm thinking about opening up that top shoulder and reaching out towards that other foot. That's not available to everybody, I know that. So you can use things to prop you if you want, and use that to hold your head up. The thing I'd like to think about here is opening up the body into that rotation. So if you can find the side bend, first of all, knees bent or legs stretched out, find the side bend, first of all. Use something to hold your heavy head if necessary. And then rotate that top shoulder wherever you are to open up the upper chest on your left-hand side in my case. If you want to, you can just pop your hand on your waist there. If you want to, you can take your hand up and over your head, get a lot more stretch that way, but do think about rotating and opening the body. That's really what we're looking for in this pose. All this fancy stuff of touching the foot and reaching out through the legs, opening really wide legs. These are different stages of the pose, but we've got to come back to finding what it's really all about here. It's finding that openness and the rotation in your spinal column. And breathing. So you've been in that side for quite a little while. So we're going to gently draw ourselves back up to seated. Have a break if you need to. Otherwise, we're going over to the other side. Now, it may be completely different. You may have to find it in a different way. You might need more cushioning, or you might just fall into this side very easily. But remember, what we do is start by looking towards the opposite leg and then armpit to hip fold as we go over to that side, finding whatever you need to prop your head if you want to, or reaching out if it's available for you. And then reaching up if you want to. But think first of all of opening up that top shoulder, drawing the tummy in, lifting through the crown. Reaching if you're going to reach, closing your eyes and finding your breath again. So one of the Niyamas, going back to the self-care and self-study, one of them is called Santosha, and it's about finding contentment. So try to find contentment in this pose. That's your challenge. It's not always about wanting more in things or trying to get further into things. That will happen as time goes by, but it's about knowing your limits and working gently towards your edge here. This is a kind of yin pose, so we're thinking of that yin thing of the edge. And maybe gently you're finding you're opening a little bit more into this. Maybe you're not ready to do that yet. But if we stayed here for long enough and you used your breath, you would gently open the doors. And finding contentment at each point that you get to will help you reach the next stage. Santosha, finding contentment. So another thing we try to learn on the mat. Gently then bringing yourself up. Coming back to the top, have a little roll through your shoulders, a roll through your legs if you need to, windscreen wiper or anything. Going to bring that left leg forward again and grab your strap if you've got it handy, first of all. So grabbing the strap, left leg forward, right foot this time is coming into the inside of the thigh and that leg's just falling out. So it's like half Baddha Konasana, so half butterfly, I think they call it. And then bending the knee if you need to pop that strap around the long foot, the long leg. So then draw your elbows back to your side, lift up through your crown, breathe in, and as you exhale, we're just drawing forwards, head to knee pose, Janusirsasana. So head to knee. So you're thinking again of the head going as far forward as you can, keeping that hip on the floor still, but you're reaching out through the spine and using your strap then by walking up it a little bit more and finding yourself a little bit more towards your leg perhaps. Find that contentment. If you're happy where you are, then just be there. If you want to go a bit further, then wait a second and then just gently reach a little bit more through your crown. Move your hands up the strap if you can and find yourself slowly falling more towards that leg. So again, this doesn't happen immediately. And we have to find contentment in life, that things just don't happen immediately. So the yoga mat and what we do in it reflects what happens outside. And learning how to deal with ourselves helps us deal with what's outside in life around us. Sounds like I'm lecturing you this morning, but I'm not. I'm just trying to point out the bleeding obvious, as they say. Okay, so gently then rolling back up from that. Taking your time, using your tummy muscles to help protect your back, remember, as you move here. And then taking the opposite side. So other leg is in, strap is on the opposite foot. Find that long length first of all, and then gently moving forward with the heart towards the leg. So close your eyes if you can do this. And see how far away from your leg your mind is telling you are. And then open your eyes and see if you're where you thought you were going to be. So proprioception is always there. We know where we are in space physically. But sometimes our mind plays tricks on us and tells us that we're further along the line than we are. Or maybe it's done the opposite and you actually were near your leg. Just breathe here for a little bit. See if there's any give to be given. See if you don't want to give anymore and you're quite content where you are. Notice what parts of your body this is affecting. Does it feel it's affecting it in a good way? Does it feel like a part of your body you've possibly ignored and not noticed for quite a while? And then rolling straight back up. Take it easy, come back up. Pop the feet together. Now in Baddha Konasana, pop your hands behind you and then just lift up, roll up and open the spine, lift out the sit bones. Use your hands to lift you up a little bit off the sit bones. Rolling, opening the heart slowly, taking the shoulders back and counterposing what we've just done in the lower back by lifting off the lower back and opening up the front of the body. And then slowly soften and let yourself come back down. And then we're going to pop our feet together, or they're still together, sorry. Put your hands on your shins or wherever they're comfortable. If they're comfortable under the long edges of your feet, then that's fine. If you're not quite reaching there, hold on to your shins. Reach up through your crown, and this time we're going to roll forward. So tuck the tummy, tuck the heart, tuck the chin, and roll down again. Use your elbows maybe to just softly open up your legs a little bit further and look back towards yourself. And breathe. Close your eyes and consider how you feel in this pose. If anybody walked by, this would look like you were really doing nothing very much but sitting and looking back at yourself. But when you're aware of what's happening in your body, or what's happening in your mind, maybe you can't find stillness, maybe you're already off the mat in your head. Try and bring yourself back to what you're doing, back to where you are. Feel little bits of your body. Feel the pressure of your feet on the floor. Feel the experience in your lower back, maybe, hopefully nothing wrong there. Draw the tummy in, see if that just lightens the load there. Maybe your shoulder blades, you can feel the space between them. Maybe you can breathe and feel that open a little bit more. And then gently rolling back up when you're ready. And just coming over onto your knees to take a few cow rolls, just to loosen the spine and hips off a little bit more. So coming into all fours when you're ready. Finding neutral spine. Inhaling, and as you exhale, just take a very slow cat roll, taking the tailbone down first and rolling up through to drop the head to look backwards again. And then inhaling from the tailbone, rippling through the spine to look forwards again. Take a couple more of those in your own time on the breath. Do it really slowly. Use your breath to slow you down. Really focus on the breath. Focus on the breath and then focus on how good your spine feels to be moving in either direction. Which one's a little bit harder? Which one are you feeling the movement in a little bit more? And then if you want to, take it into dynamic cat-cow a little bit. So taking your tailbone back as you roll into cat and lifting up through, extending through the armpits, drawing the elbows down as you begin to breathe in and rolling through and bringing yourself up to cow. So take a couple of those really nice and slowly, like a cat does. Cats don't stretch. Don't stretch quickly. They take their time. They really enjoy. They know how to enjoy a good stretch, a cat does. And then taking yourself back into child's pose and just dropping your head gently to the floor. If it doesn't quite reach the floor, pop your hands under your head, cross your palms and stick your third eye, gently place it on top of your hands there. If your head is on the floor, make sure your bottom hasn't popped up. So as you just take this extended Balasana or just Balasana, think about this question. How many times a day do you think of self? Self doesn't mean selfish. The two words have got the same word in it. But just because you're thinking of yourself doesn't mean you're being selfish. It just means you're being aware of self. You're giving yourself some time to consider how life's affecting you as well as everybody else that you're running about after. And you're quite a large thing to manage. If you think all the things we've learned about us in our physical self, in our anatomy themes, you know there's a whole universe going on within you. And it will continue, but it won't necessarily do it any harm to stop now and again and consider just who you are and that world inside you that's happening there. So by using our breath, by using our physical bodies on the mat, moving towards meditation, mindful movement, etc. Yoga is not always on the mat. Yoga is sometimes out there. So my husband's yoga, for instance, is riding a motorbike. Your yoga may also be off the mat, something else. It might be tennis, for instance. I know some of you, maybe golf. Places where you feel that sense of wellness because you're considering yourself while you're doing it. And you're also allowing your mind to rest. So then gently rolling up from Balasana. Take your time coming up, watch your head. And coming back to seated just to finish our class in Sukhasana. I like to finish by crossing my legs the opposite way from the way that I do at the beginning. It's just one of those little habits that I've noticed I have now. Doesn't harm anybody else, but it's something that I notice. So recognizing yourself, recognizing your Atman, that's your being in there that is you and nobody else. Being with that self and beginning to understand it. Through yoga, we're learning to overcome our obstacles, to face our challenges, to recognize our own limits and our boundaries, to be a little bit kinder to ourselves and look after our own health so that we can go out there and help other people too, is the idea. So self-centered isn't a bad phrase, remember that. And the next time you think about yourself, just think how much good you're doing. Hey everybody, thank you for giving time here and space on the mat for yourself, and have a good week, but don't forget to give yourself some time wherever you are. Namaste.